Yeah, so hi guys, welcome to another episode of Crickcast. So welcome to the post-match podcast of today's match. So basically, yesterday also we had been discussing about the effects of one-sided matches, and this one-sided match, this word has become monotonous to us because every day we are speaking the same thing, monotonous match, and today it was no exception. And to talk about today's match, we have Urjunda as always, and we have a very surprise guest with us. Joining with us is Shushma Misro from Houston, Texas. So I will straight away go to you guys. So currently, as it stands, it seems Delhi is an out-and-out favorite to win the IPL. Your comments on that?
Yeah, so good evening, friends. Delhi looks very solid, both in terms of batting and bowling. So, though today I missed the match in between for some time and I was not following the match ball by ball, but what I could feel is they are actually becoming stronger and stronger. So, if you remember the first match of Delhi, couple of matches they were slightly unsettled. In fact, I would say they were pretty lucky to start with. So, but now I think somewhere they are riding on their strength, that is the fast bowling, that is Rabada and Norkia, and also they are building on their batsmen also. So, I think somewhere if they are able to keep this kind of rigor, I feel they have a good chance to win this year's IPL.
Yeah, just to add to what Ojunda said, I think Delhi did a fantastic job at the auctions. They have a very solid Indian batting core, which allows them to play two foreign fast bowlers. I think that really makes a difference. Not many teams have the luxury to play two foreign strike bowlers, and in addition to that, they also have a very good spinner in R Ashwin. And another thing which not many people are talking about is their spin bowling all-rounder Akshar Patel has been quietly doing an excellent job. He has maintained an economy rate of below 5, which is almost unthinkable for the spin bowling all-rounder. So I think all in all, they're looking really good. And we are at a stage where half of the league games are being played, and this is usually the stage in every IPL when we see that a gap opens up between the top few teams and the bottom few teams. And now we can pretty much see that a distinct gap has been opening up. Uh, and although a few of the first few games were very closely contested, it's been disappointing to see that in the last week or so, most of the games were largely one-sided.
Absolutely, and one more fact is today Delhi kept on losing wickets at frequent intervals, but that hardly mattered because they continue to maintain their steady run rate, and very few teams. So on that context, I'll go to Roktimda on that. So Roktimda, what we are talking about is the immense versatility in the Delhi. Can you hear us? Roktimda, can you
Yeah,
hear
yeah, I
us?
can hear you.
Yeah, yeah. So what we are talking about is the immense
Yeah, I
versatility
can
in
hear.
the Delhi Capitals lineup. So basically today we saw they were losing wickets at regular intervals, but that hardly impacted their run rate, and they just um, uh, kept on increasing their score. And 184 after losing so many wickets is a pretty decent job.
Yes, absolutely. I think Delhi has a pretty good batting lineup. It's a complete team. Like if you see in the last 10 years or the last 12 years, Delhi was somehow the dark horse, but they were never really the complete dark horse. I think this time Delhi is the complete dark horse in this IPL, and they have got a very good chance to lift the trophy. This year, the balance of Delhi, I don't know what has worked out, what has not worked out, but somehow it seems the balance of Delhi is excellent. Players are clicking very well. Indian players, under 19 players, Indian under 19 players, the foreign players, everyone is chipping in at the crucial moment, and it has got a complete team. Like for example, if you see the innings of Hetmeyer, and I guess Arjunda will be very happy because the Caribbeans have arrived in the party, even if they are late. Am I
Absolutely.
audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. So,
Yeah,
from that topic, let's now
Right.
switch on to our focus
Fine.
on Rajasthan Royals.
Hetmeyer's innings today was excellent. He
Okay,
played a very crucial.
So somewhere I feel what normally happens in a player psychology when the team is playing well is first of all, however big the player is, there is a small mental, I would say, mental thing coming in, wherein they slowly start feeling insecurity. Somewhere I felt today the innings of Hetmeyer. Now Hetmeyer was struggling for the last 5 matches, and today probably was the day when I think Delhi Capital would have taken a call of whether to give Hetmeyer or not. So I think today's innings was a pivotal innings,
Yes.
and it actually catapulted them to a score of 170 odd. But of course, Hetmeyer got out slightly earlier, but then still they had the confidence to go there. So somewhere, I think everybody is challenged. Remember, very importantly, they have lost one of their top spinners. I think Amit Mishra is already back.
Yeah.
He has already won back, and somewhere if it would have been any other team, probably this migration would have been difficult.
Yeah.
But in spite of Amit Mishra moving out, they have very smoothly accommodated Ashwin and Akshar. And as Shushio said, Akshar Patel actually, if you see Akshar Patel's career in IPL, I think he is an unsung hero for whichever team he has played. Okay, so though he played for India also in between, but in IPL he is always keeping this 5.5 to 6.5 kind of averages, and also he finishes his over very fast. So which actually is creating a pressure on the batsman mind because they are not able to plan for the next over. So I think these few things are working actually for Delhi very well.
Absolutely. And now let's just shift our focus to Rajasthan Royals.
But,
What we
well,
can
Moyuk, just to I'm just interrupting you, just to
Yes,
add
please.
to Hetmeyer's contribution
Yeah.
today. I think it was unfortunate that Hetmeyer didn't get too many opportunities to bat in the previous few games. He was mostly coming in at the 19th or the 20th over. But I think the one good thing about the Delhi Capitals franchise that we have seen is they've been very consistent with the selections. They could easily have dropped Hetmeyer and gone for another option, but they didn't do that. And I think that's the sign of a settled franchise. It shows that they're prepared to back the players that they select, and I think that really shows that mentally they're in a very good space. I mean, in a lot of other teams, maybe Hetmeyer would have been dropped by now. But I think one must give credit to the management for sticking with him.
Absolutely. Now just let's shift our focus to Rajasthan Royals. What we can see is Rajasthan Royals have quite a few talented and very exciting cricketers, and at any given day, what we can see the talent pool they have got, they can beat what it seems is they can beat any other team, but simply they are unable to strike the right chords, and something is going wrong for them and they are just not able to perform. They are underperforming. So, what do you think is the main reason of concern for Rajasthan Royals?
Uh, well, in my opinion, I think the main issue is the lack of form of Sanju Samson. I think is a huge factor. Also, I think the foreign players, if you look at the structure of the Rajasthan Royals side, it is in a way similar to SRH in the sense that they have a very strong, they're very reliant on the top 2 or 3 batsmen, and their main batting powerhouse is the 2 foreign batsmen, Smith and Butler, at the top of the order, and they have not been firing very consistently in the last 2-3 games. In the previous game, Butler played an innings, but he basically played a lone hand. But I think what is even more concerning about the Royals setup is that they don't have a very strong batting core. So essentially, if you see like someone like a Rahul Tewatia, who's been doing a good job, but he's nothing more than a bowling all-rounder really, and he's coming in to bat at number 6. And from number 7, it's basically Jofra Archer and Andrew Tye and all these guys, Shreyas Gopal. So mostly bowling all-rounder starting from number 6. So I think that is also putting a lot of pressure on some of the top order batsmen. Yeah, I think the main factor has been Sanju Samson's loss of form, because they need 1 or 2 Indian batsmen to play really well, and in order to complement Smith and Butler so that they can play their own game freely.
And Arjunda, also you said yesterday that rightly so that Steve Smith is due for a big innings, and still what we saw is Steve Smith unable to hit a hit it big. So once again, that is also a major factor because considering the standard of player Steve Smith is.
I actually Steve Smith at this point of time, I think something going wrong in the sense. I strongly feel the game has moved from physical level to a mental level very much in T20 specifically. So somewhere I feel whatever we as spectators or fans or maybe the management is feeling from outside, a very similar feeling is coming in the player's mind also. So like Sanju Samson, Butler, and also very important cog in the bill, that is Steve Smith, they are under tremendous pressure. So they know that they don't have any backup. I don't think, as he rightly said, Rahul Tewatia is just a bowling all-rounder, and all the other three guys are just like I would say 1, 2, 3, 4. I would not say that they're all even not even good all-rounders. So coming to the point, so he is under pressure. So what is happening is see the matches they have lost. The matches they have lost identically are the matches where they have been batting second. Okay, so I'm talking about the last 2, 3 matches, and they are not able to pace their innings. So somewhere mentally it is going in his mind what is the kind of run rate he should play. Probably in some matches he's starting slow and probably coming into pressure and then getting out. Some matches he's trying to hit it out and then he's getting out, like the match with KKR. So I feel that there is some kind of mental treatment which probably I think that every team is carrying some kind of a psychologist with them. Needs to be there with the Rajasthan team. Rajasthan team, of course, it's a pretty nice side, but it has completely lost that zing thing which was there in the top. So somewhere Rajasthan also is struggling. Rajasthan also is struggling. But what is happening is, as Hushrio said, after around 6, 7 matches this year, we can easily see that you can actually separate out 4 teams and you can separate out 3 teams easily. There is only fight for only one team. Okay, so somewhere 3 teams are already mentally out. Mentally out in the sense they have to do a lot of hard work to come up. Yeah. So it is as yesterday's match we saw, today's match we saw, the day before. So a lot of mental conditioning has to go, and I feel that that's probably the reason why Rajasthan is struggling at this point of time. And I feel strongly now Delhi Capitals, KKR and MI are seemingly having a settled side, I would say. A complete total team, if you see, they have a good side. And somewhere, I feel like even Rajasthan is also way out. I don't think they will make it to the playoff with the kind of... They are actually, see, if you see the games they have played, the level of level is going down. They have not been able to keep that pace or that rigor. So I think they are completely down. They need help.
Okay, so
well, actually, Arjun, I just like to interrupt here that I am personally not counting Rajasthan out completely because Ben Stokes is going to join the side.
Yeah,
and I think
can be
that would because if you notice the combination of the side right now, they were playing Tom Curran, and today instead of Tom Curran, Andrew Tye played. So both Tom Curran and Andrew Tye are primarily bowling all-rounders, so they do not really contribute to the batting order. But when Ben Stokes comes back, he will probably replace this position. So they will have a much stronger batsman batting in the middle, which is exactly what they're lacking right now. And I think if you just add one strong like foreign batsman who can hit the ball hard and who can also pace his innings well in the middle of the innings, the whole setup of the Rajasthan Royals could change. And they haven't really played bad cricket to the tournament. I think it's just that maybe they don't have a strong enough team yet. But if you add Ben Stokes to this setup, and if Steve Smith and Joss Butler can click at the right time, I would still not count them out. I think they will have to play out of their skins, yes, but they still have a chance, I think.
Okay, so before we go to tomorrow's prediction, I want to quickly go to Ayan, who has just joined us, and I will ask the same. I will place the same question to all of you, but I will ask Ayan to answer first. that once KKR had sent Sunil Narayan up the order, and he had done wonders for 1 or 2 seasons at the top, and still KKR relies a lot on Sunil Narayan to do something for KKR at the top. And considering how big a hitter Jofra Archer is, will it be a good option to send him up the order, probably to open him and to utilize the fielding restrictions if Jofra Archer goes, because we all know he can hit it big.
Hello everybody. In terms of no, I mean, with coming to today's match, I'll come later. With terms of Jofra Archer, no, I think the I think he can bat at number 7 probably or number 6 in this batting lineup. With Ben Stokes not been there, you're asking whether Jofra Archer can be promoted up, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. He is like with Narayan. I think Narayan, preferably with the CPL and with KKR also earlier, he plays opening slot. With Jofra, I don't think so. They will promote it, and I think they have a set top 3. They have very well settled. Maybe he can come at number 6 because Rajasthan, apart from Sanju Samsung and Tewati, obviously, but they don't have a proper like Indian batsman. They had Ajinkya Rahane, which I mentioned was a huge loss to them, but I don't feel they have, and don't think that's the case. And in terms of today's match, I feel like that, as I mentioned yesterday, a few of the points. So I mentioned like it was a high scoring match, as not a 200 pitch, but I think, as I mentioned, well, Delhi will be a tough side to beat because I think the team is very much balanced in all departments. I think Delhi will be the team to beat, even as a KKR fan and MI. Looks very well settled, unless and until something goes in opposite way, which I don't think will happen. So the captain is in very good form, Shreyas Iyer. I mean, captain leading from the front, and the more I see of him, I get a very good thing. I mean, good for India as well. And with Shreyas, like the way he's leading the team and his body language, it's very good. Very good signs for Delhi and for India, obviously. And he was no doubt talented. That's no doubt. But this tournament has taken the best out of him. So going forward, they have with terms of bowling, I mentioned Noke and Rabada. Excellent. Ashwin, not to mention. 3 top bowlers. And obviously batting, they are doing well. But if you see the balance in this T20 is very important. With KKR, they have. With MI also. The teams like we don't have a balance will struggle because if you score 200 and different, you will lose the match. So they have a very good balance with Delhi. And with Rajasthan, I would like to say that I think with Ben Stokes coming, he needs to be, I don't know how good form he is in, but he's a very quality, like world-class all-rounder. Like he will add that spot at number 5 or 6, surely, to such scores, And I think Smith or Butler, any 1 or 2 needs to be in form quickly. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for Rajasthan. I think Sanju Samsung is lacking confidence again. I think Smith, Butler, anyone, and Sanju needs to be on form with Ben Stokes firing. I'm not sure about their bowling. I'm not pretty much convinced Rajasthan's bowling. So I don't think roads looks tough for them. But you never know in T20, you never know so what happens going forward. Yeah, so that's the scenario. But yeah.
Absolutely. So now I'll quickly go to both of you and ask the same question. Jofra Archer probably in the opening slot. Can that be a game changer for Rajasthan?
At this point of time, as Sushru made a very important point, with Ben Stokes coming in from the next match, I think next match he's going to play. 11th he's playing, October 11th. His
yes, I think so.
And
yeah.
things like that. Yeah. So I think Ben Stokes will make a huge difference. He not only brings in his batting, bowling, also his fielding. Yeah. So I think that's probably their last chance to look back. Now, your question of Jofra Archer experiment, I don't know in whether he has played in that kind of a role in England in the T20 leagues or maybe in BBL or CPL. I am not actually following the other leagues.
No, but, he hasn't. But okay. IPL has always done miracles.
He hasn't.
Narayan. Yeah. So let me tell you, Sunil Narayan. Sunil Narayan is not an IPL experiment. Sunil Narayan actually started as an opening batsman in BBL. Yeah. So where he had a couple of innings where probably the Kolkata think tank saw that thing and they took a chance. I don't see Rajasthan have that kind of luxury now.
Okay.
That to play him there. Okay. So I feel it's too early to say, but I think it's a good question to actually ask the Rajasthan management.
Well, I personally feel that maybe no as an not as an opener because as Ojunda and Oinda said before me that the experiment with Narayan had already been successful in another league previously, but
Yes.
Jofra Archer doesn't have the same experience. But I still feel that Jofra Archer.
Hi. Hi, Joshua.
Maybe
There's some problem in your line. We just
can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So what I was saying is what RR can do is they can plan to use Jofra Archer a little bit like KKR are trying to use Andre Russell. Although KKR haven't been very successful in utilizing Russell this season, but at least they're trying to do the right thing. They're sending him in around the 10th or 12th over to play a cameo and force the opposition to bring their best bowlers into bowl at that time. I think Jofra Archer, I'm not comparing him with Russell, but I think he has similar abilities. He can strike the ball very big, and he has shown his abilities in the IPL. So maybe they can use him a little more intelligently because I feel like he's coming in too late with very high asking rate of 20 and so and
Some network issue, I guess.
Yeah, there's some network issue because
I think so. I
Yeah.
think with coming to the point where Shishriyo mentioned, you can listen to my voice, right? Yep.
yeah, we can.
I think with Jofra, I think I do feel that with Jofra, West Indies missed a big trick, not getting him in there.
Yeah,
West Indies, yeah. I mean, I think the terrific talent with Jofra. I mean, they might miss a very big player going forward. Anyways, same with Ben Stokes.
yeah.
He's actually a New Zealand born. Yeah. Anyways, so but I think in terms of Sunil Narayan, I'll tell one thing with KKR. Sunil Narayan, I think with what KKR tank have, I don't think opening is a position for him, and I don't think there will be more experimentation. I neither don't think.
Let's do something. Let's keep the KKR discussion on a KKR day match.
Huh.
That is my suggestion because today we are only discussing about today's match. So let's go to tomorrow's prediction. As we all know, tomorrow in the first match, KKR is playing King XI, and in the second match, it's the big one, the RCB versus Chennai. I'm not sure that's the big one or not, but it doesn't definitely it sounds big. So because it's Kohli versus Dhoni. So a quick prediction from all three of you.
so for KKR versus Kings 11, I would go with KKR purely on form, and for for CSK versus RCB, I think I'm backing RCB to win that game based on form. I think RCB are a better side, but CSK is a team that I don't really like personally a lot. But every season they seem to somehow find a way to click at the right time and qualify for the playoffs. So maybe you never know. Maybe this is the time that CSK will just turn things around. But I will still, based on form and based on what I've seen so far, I'll still back RCB.
Yeah, sure.
With me, first match, I feel KKR are good favorites. Maybe I don't know where the match is happening, but I think KKR are good favorites. But in T20, you never can't count out. In terms of, I do hope that KKR just get the same team playing and do well. They play very good cricket. Second match, I do feel it will be a close one. I'm not sure about the result, but I think on the current form, RCB should be nicking it, but you never know, man. So anything can happen on that given day. I don't know how the sides are gonna play. So Chennai may be making few changes, maybe. So let's see with that. So two sides looking a little bit. I think RCB a little bit ahead, but you never count Dhoni and his team, So they are very, very good team. I mean, all through not the best Chennai we have seen, but yeah, another RCB. So yeah, looking forward for it.
Ojunda.
Kings 11 is going to come hard. Okay, so they are extremely hungry because you can see the players, the top players in the top are performing. And unfortunately, lot of chopping and changing has happened in Kings 11. Somewhere they're struggling to figure out their perfect team. So probably that thing is there, but still it's a very, very strong team. And KKR, if they are able to probably do some kind of an experiment, though they don't have any scope actually. There is Narayan, Cummins, Morgan, and Russell. So they don't have actually any scope to actually do an experiment. But I feel that or tomorrow they can actually do some kind of experiment and probably bring in Mantle if they can fit in as an experiment, because they have the liberty. Tomorrow's match is a match where they can take some kind of liberty in taking this. Because why I'm saying this is the kind of form Tom Hampton was in the last around 6 months, probably just because of the problem of not having more than 4 foreign players in an IPL team. He is sitting back. So he's one of the, I think, top players at this point of time in the T20 arena.
Yeah.
So they could have tried this. Why I'm saying is the last 4 matches and also probably the playoffs, I think is very, very critical, wherein they may need somebody either dropping Russell or either dropping Narayan, somebody who actually can hit a 40 ball 80 or a 40 ball 90 kind of a score, which Banton can easily do it. So that's my feeling. Tomorrow they can do an experiment, I feel. But I don't think they will tinker with the team. On probability tomorrow, I think KKR is going to win. But the toss is very critical. You never know what you're going to chase. So it's very, very critical. In the second match, I strongly feel RCB has got an edge. And with as yesterday, that the day, 2 days before, I said CSK looks completely down and out. They have never, I have never felt so bad about CSK. So I think in all probability it is RCB and KKR for tomorrow's matches.
But as because it is T20, it is possible. Even CSK can go bottom of the table. So having said that, we'll
Well, Moyuk, one quick observation about Kings 11 tomorrow, just on a lighter note,
yes,
is there is a chance that Chris Gayle might start tomorrow.
Yes.
Starting in the middle of the IPL season, and the last time Chris Gayle started in the middle of an IPL season against KKR, we all know what happened, right?
Know. Yeah,
I was at the ground. I was at the ground on that day.
Yeah, that was his debut for RCB.
Gayle,
Right.
Chris
Right.
Gayle has a very good record against KKR.
Yeah.
Whenever he played Eden at Bangalore, smacks. Yeah, I remember a few Eden matches. I was about to mention that. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
You never know with Gayle. Yeah,
He has an excellent
he can
record.
change the match in a different corner. Yeah, if he plays.
Right. He has an excellent record
KKR,
against KKR and a very poor record for KKR, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
who will he replace? See, who will he replace? See, last match, if you see Nicholas Puran, I think made his point why he is in the team. So I think
there's a chance that in the last game, and also in the last game, I think Mujib played, but Chris Gayle was supposed to play. Because if you see, like, Mujib came out to bat at number 7, which is not his original position, and I think that happened because Chris Gayle got injured at the last moment. But I think the plan was for Chris Gayle to play. Although I personally feel that Gayle, if he plays, he should play instead of Maxwell, because I've been very disappointed with how Maxwell has gone in this season.
Yes.
And maybe replace one of the bowlers with a batting all-rounder. I think because Kings 11 have a very long tail, I feel.
Okay, so having said
I think
that,
the top 4 will be Gayle, Puran, Mujib, and Cottrell. They drop Maxwell, I guess. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so let's keep our fingers crossed for tomorrow. Let's see, there are 2 crackers coming to tomorrow. So probably we'll have both the pre and the post sessions for both the matches. So till then, I want to thank all of you gentlemen for joining us, and thank you, Sushreo, for being the first guy who has joined us from abroad. So thank you so much, all of you, and have a very good night.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. Take care.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.